in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, I love you. Oh. Hey guys, Gregory here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a really chill song. We're going to be learning how to play Nights in White Satin by a band called the Moody Blues. The song is fairly straightforward. I'm going to break it up into 3 sections, the verse, chorus, and I'm also going to give you a way that you can play the solo section, both with chords, and I'm going to give you the melody that they play there as well, if you'd like to play it that way. So let's get into it. Let's go through the chords. We're going to find 8 of them in this song. The first one we're going to find is an E minor, so that is the first finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string, and the middle finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string. And E minor is 6 strings, the 6th to the 1st. Following that, we have a D, that is the first finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 1st string, and the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. And D goes from the 4th to the 1st string. Next we have C, that is the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 5th string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, and the 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string. And C is the 5th to the 1st string. Following that we have a G, that is the 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string, middle finger goes on the 3rd fret, 6th string, and then the 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret, 1st string, and we strum all 6 for G. Next we have an F. Well, I always like to use an F major 7 where I can, but I will just call it an F for the rest of this lesson. So it looks like this. The 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret, 4th string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and the 1st finger goes on the 1st fret, 2nd string. And we really want to try to strum 4 strings, the 4th to the 1st. If you accidentally hit the 5th string, doesn't sound too bad, but really try to avoid hitting the 6th, as that can really muddy the sound of the F. Okay. The next chord we're going to find is an A major. So that is the 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and the 3rd finger also on the 2nd fret, 2nd string. And A major is 5 strings, the 5th to the 1st. Next, we're going to find an A minor. So that is the middle finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and the 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string. And A minor is also 5 strings, the 5th to the 1st. And the last chord we're going to find is a B7. That is the middle finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string, 1st finger on the 1st fret, 4th string, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and the pinky on the 2nd fret, 1st string. And B7 is 5 strings, the 5th to the 1st. Let's talk now about the strumming pattern. Now this song has what we call a 6/8 rhythm. So there's an underlying pulse in the song that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the strumming pattern that I'm going to give you that you can use throughout the entire song is based on that. And it sounds like this. I'm going to play it on an E minor after 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is down, 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 up, down, up. Now, how we play that matters, okay? So, I would say that the song has basically 2 energy levels in the verses and also the solo part of the song, which comes in a bit later. They both have what I would consider to be a mellow or a very gentle type of energy to it, whereas the chorus has more of an intense energy. Okay, so let's talk about that mellower energy that we find in the verse and the solo section. Now, in terms of how we play the strumming pattern, I would want you to play it in such a way, or rather, I'll just demo it for you. It sounds like this. So those first 3 downs that I'm playing, we're playing it in a very gentle way. Okay? And we're also aiming for less strings, or the bassier strings of the chord. So in the case of an E minor, the bass strings would be maybe the bottom 2 or 3. That would be maybe around the 6th to the 4th, maybe. If we were playing a smaller chord like D, the bass strings of a D could be maybe the 4th to as far as maybe the 2nd. Okay, or maybe just the 4th and the 3rd strings. Okay, we're not trying to be too precise, we're just aiming for less strings, okay? So those first 3 downs are what I consider to be bass strums. Less strings, less volume. And on the 4th down, we're really bringing out the chord by strumming the rest of it, so the rest of the strings, and adding a little bit of volume. So all in all, those first 4 downs sound like this. Okay, so you hear how it comes out on that 4th down. And the rest of these strings, the rest of these strums rather, are just kind of like mid-level energy. So we just kind of strum as normal. So we have a strum that sounds like this. Do, 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 da, chaka, chaka. Okay? So really try to separate that, the energy in the strum, so it really kind of comes alive in how you play. So to kind of make you understand what I mean a bit more, I'm going to play the strum in 2 ways. In a dynamic way, which is what we want, and then I'm going to play it in a very bland way, which is us just strumming all the strings all the time at the same level. So I'll do that one first. Listen to how that sounds. Okay, so not much dynamics going on there. I strummed everything all at once, all the strings all the time, and at the same volume. Now compare that with something that sounds a bit more dynamic, which is what we want, which is this. So I hope you can hear the difference there. Now, let's practice it. I'll do it on an E minor, a bit slowly, after 6. Remember again, once again, the strum is down, 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 up, down, up. So let's go after 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down, 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 up, down, up. Doom, 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 da, chaka, chaka. Try to really capture those dynamics. Alright, so like I said before, this kind of energy we can use in the verse and the solo part of the song. Now when it comes to the chorus gets really intense. So it's the same strum in terms of the direction. Down, 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 up, but we're really just strumming everything a bit louder. So in terms of the chorus, which starts on an A, we can strum like this. Yes, I love you. Get to the verse, bring it back down. Nice and white satin. Right? So things like that really help the song to come alive, the separation of those dynamics. So practice playing the verses and the choruses in that way. So being able to control the dynamics in your strumming is a really important skill to have as a guitarist. It really helps you to sound very expressive in the way that you play. And I do have a short but powerful lesson that you can find down in the description. There's a link you can follow there where you can submit your email and you will get that lesson in your inbox. So do that, follow the link, and look out for the lesson. Now let's go through the solo section of the song. We can play it by either playing the chords, which you'll find on the chord sheet in the description, or you can play it by playing the melody, which we will go through now. So it goes like this. back to the verse. Alright, so let's break that down. It's quite long. I'm not going to explain every nitty-gritty about it. I am going to put the tab on the screen, which should help a lot. But I am going to tell you which fingers you should probably use. And I'm also going to break it up for you in a way that makes it a bit easier to practice. So the first main part of that solo sounds like this. Okay, so for this part, we want to use the first finger to play anything on the first fret, middle finger, anything on the second fret, third finger, anything on the third fret. And there's one last note that we're going to use the third finger for, and that's also on the fourth fret. So the third finger is going to play anything on the third fret, and it's going to play anything, the last note on the fourth fret. So to practice this part, break it up into these sections. The first part goes like this. Right? Memorize that, and then practice this part. Okay? And then memorize this part. It's always a great idea to break it up into very small pieces. Right, so the next part goes like this. This time we're going to use the first finger on the second fret. Middle finger will play anything on the third fret. We're not going to play anything on the fourth fret for this part. And then we'll use the pinky for the notes that appear on the fifth fret. So we have this now. So I can break that up into smaller parts. You can practice this as one part. And then practice this as another small part. And then practice this as another part. Sorry. Very small, simple parts, but trust me, it's a really good idea to practice them as those small things and then practice putting them together. The next part, we're going to move up a couple of frets. So we're going to start with the third finger on the 7th fret. Now for this section, the first finger is going to play anything on the 5th fret, middle finger playing anything on the 6th fret, third finger is going to play anything on the 7th, and the pinky is going to play anything on the 8th fret. But like I said, it starts with the third finger on the 7th fret, so we're going to play this. Sorry. Right? So that's the next part. So we're going to break that into small pieces now. So the first small pieces of this bigger part goes like this. Then the next piece of this part goes like this. Okay, good. So that's two small pieces of a bigger piece. Now the very last part we're going to play goes like this. Right, and that can be seen as two small pieces. It starts with the pinky on the 8th fret 2nd string. That's the first piece there, and the next piece. So the idea here is to break up this long solo into very small manageable pieces and then practice gluing them together bit by bit in pairs and then in fours until you can play the whole thing. Now there's another melody that is not so vivid that comes next. I would say just strum the chords that come next. So that melody goes on, but then the part that we're going to continue for the solo section, we're just going to strum the E minor, D, C, E minor, D, E minor, and D, just to kind of complete that part of the solo. So we're not playing it too exact because, like I said, the last part of that solo is a little vague in terms of the melody. There is like one or two notes that stand out, but it doesn't really stand out that much. So I've decided to kind of combine playing a melody for the solo as well as strumming some of the chords. Okay, so there you have it. So that is it for the lesson. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go back to the start of this lesson where I do a little demo playthrough that will kind of help you to put all of these things together. And of course, if you did enjoy the lesson, please like, share, and subscribe. It'll help me out a lot. But until next time, goodbye.